Hey guys, thank you for joining. Today I've got a few tips for you on how you can help your baby to sleep through the night. So Logan just started sleeping through the night. He had his first night this week where he slept 7 to 7, and it's not consistent, but he has slept again 7 to 7, and I'm hoping that he's going to continue that going forward. But yeah, I just hope that these tips that I give you may help you with your own baby. Let me know if they do. Please comment some more tips if you've got any more to suggest. And hopefully your baby will be sleeping through very, very soon. Thank you. Bye.
The impact of sleep problems can include diminished confidence and feelings of helplessness, poor mother-infant relationships, poor maternal mental health and physical health, severe mental exhaustion, feelings of depression, frustration, anger, marital dissatisfaction, tension, poor quality infant caregiving, infant abuse in the most serious cases. And for me, the lack of sleep really triggered major anxiety, and the thought of being up all night just made me more anxious to see the sunset, and I was pretty desperate to get some sleep. The last thing that you want after giving birth and trying to recover is to be sleep deprived. I even tried a smart bassinet as well as sleep school, which you can go to here in Australia if you're having sleep problems with your baby. Ultimately, what helped me the most was getting help and tips from other mums and a friend of mine who's a nurse and works with babies and mums, and a big part of her job was settling babies so the mums can rest, so she was extremely helpful in helping me get both my babies to sleep. The two things that make the biggest impact on my baby sleeping through the night are self-settling, so making sure that he knows he's been put down, and weaning him off night feeds. Keep watching to find out how I've done that. So when it's time for your baby to sleep, give them a feed just as you normally would with breast or bottle, and just make sure they've had a good feed. It's nap time now, so this is me putting Logan down for his second nap. He tends to feed better when he's in his room with white noise because he's very distractible during the day. So once he's fed, I'll give him a pat on the back so that he can burp. And once he's burped, I'll then go ahead and put him down, making sure he's not 100% asleep. Sometimes for naps, if he's really tired, I will put him down asleep, and I do find it doesn't affect him much, but most of the time, he's not 100% asleep. He's still drowsy, and you can see here that he's still moving around, and he will know once I put him down that I have put him down. He's aware of everything, and you see that he's moving around and he's turned to his tummy, so he's quite aware that he's been put down.
So he's asleep now, and hopefully he'll sleep for at least 30 minutes. As you saw, he's a tummy sleeper. He always just turns straight on his tummy or his side every time I put him down, and yeah, I don't even get a chance to flip him onto his back. So yeah, we'll see how long he sleeps. Might be 30 minutes, might be an hour, but it's his second sleep. It's usually the short sleep, but yeah, it will do him for the rest of the day. Checking him when he wakes up. He slept for almost 2 hours, which is very unusual. You did? Huh? It's already almost time to go to bed again, huh? That's okay.
The pick-up put-down method worked for Logan. With this method, I help Logan get drowsy by rocking or feeding him, then put him down just before he falls asleep. I then leave the room, and if he does not fall asleep and he gets upset, I will come back into the room and repeat. The key is to put him down drowsy. Sometimes he stays awake for a while and eventually falls asleep on his own with no fuss, but sometimes he needs my help. I do this for every night's sleep and most naps. Some naps I put him down already asleep, but he sometimes sleeps longer when he's put down drowsy. You can see here he's just playing with his teddy, but he eventually fell asleep on his own. This is our sleep schedule. Logan will have a nap around 9:30 until about 11:30, sometimes until 12, and then they'll both have a nap at 3 o'clock and then bed by 7 o'clock. You'll see how that plays out in the next slide. How I get my 2-year-old and my 8-month-old to bed by 7 p.m. So we usually start with dinner at 5:30 p.m. and I'll try to give Logan as much as he can take so he's not waking up at night hungry. Then I'll run them a bath and I'll put Logan in there just for a few minutes, but Tiffany can stay in there and play a bit longer. I then get them changed into their pajamas and then I put lullabies on for Tiffany. Tiffany will then like to have a bottle of milk and then she'll brush her teeth and I'll say goodnight, pop her into her cot with all her teddies. She'll just lay there looking at the stars and listening to lullabies for about 10 to 15 minutes and then she's out. With Logan, I put on white noise, I breastfeed him for a bit, put him into his sleeping bag, then I pop him down, drowsy but awake, and he'll be drifting off within a few minutes so I can rest by 7 p.m. At the moment, Logan sleeps about 10 hours at night and about 3 to 4 hours during the day. It helps to know the average baby sleep needs, but every baby is different. Logan's wake windows are about 2 hours in the morning, 3 to 4 hours in the afternoon, and about 2 to 3 hours in the evening. This works really well to get him tired enough to fall asleep. When I was planning to wean Logan, I wanted a guide to know how much I should be feeding him at night. What I found is that every baby is different and that you should do what you feel is best. Consult your doctor and or nurse before you decide to wean. These guides helped me in making my decision, and you should always make sure your baby's healthy enough to stop. So this is how we actually did the night weaning. The table on the left shows how I did the night weaning, and the table on the right is the Ferber method, which takes about a week to do. With Logan, it took me a few weeks. It took me about 6 weeks in total to get him down to 0 to 1 feed. He still wakes up now and again for a feed, but it's usually later in the morning, so around 5 a.m. or 5:30 if he does wake up, and that's okay with me because it means that I can get and he can get a long stretch of sleep without being interrupted multiple times at night. If you're breastfeeding, get your partner to soothe the baby at night so that you don't feed before the feed is due. Room sharing is highly recommended for the first 6 to 12 months of your baby's life. Room sharing increases sensory stimulation through smells and sounds, which increases arousal. This is protective for babies, but I found that my babies woke up a lot more when they knew someone was in the room with them. Sleeping separately from 7 or 8 months won't guarantee that your babies will sleep better, but it certainly has helped us. As I mentioned earlier, for some of Logan's naps, I do put him down already asleep. I always make sure to put him down awake for his night sleep, but for his day sleep, I find that even if he's put down asleep, he still sleeps his 2 hours in the morning and 30 minutes to 1 hour in the afternoon. Here's some more tips for a better sleep. The first one is to use 2 white noise machines. So one in the baby's room and one you can put in the hallway, especially during the day, to drown out other noises like a toddler screaming. Try to encourage baby to poop before they sleep. Holding them in a squatting position can help them to poo. Make sure they go to sleep with a dry nappy. I always like to change the nappy just before they go to sleep, and I use a larger nappy for nighttime. A projector toy has been really useful for my toddler, especially when she wakes up in the middle of the night. If she makes any noise, it turns on and it plays lullabies as well as projects stars in her ceiling for her. Lullabies have also been really useful for my baby. I find that if he wakes up and I play lullabies for him with my camera, he goes back to sleep. It soothes him and he doesn't cry anymore when he hears the lullabies. Also, just make sure that your mattress for your baby is firm and comfortable. Sometimes when Logan is really tired, I don't always stick to the sleep schedule and I might put him down a little bit later or a little bit earlier. I just look for tired signs, and always if he's yawning, rubbing his eyes, has red eyebrows or being fussy, I will put him down to sleep. So just keep an eye out for tired signs even when it's not necessarily time to sleep. Keep your babies busy with tummy time, lots of games, lots of sensory play, outdoor play. This will all help them to be tired enough to have their naps as well as tired enough for their big sleep. If your baby is newborn and not yet rolling, try swaddling. I thought Logan didn't want to be swaddled at first, but when we finally tried it, it added at least 2 to 3 more hours of sleep. If your baby is 7 months or older, you can also try a soft toy. Try not to respond to every little noise your baby makes. It's a bit tricky if you sleep in the same room, but if you respond too quickly to your baby, you might actually wake them up from all your movement when they're not actually ready to wake up. Keep the lights low if you do need to respond to them to change their nappy or to give them a feed. Join Facebook support groups, as it helps to talk to other parents about the struggles that they're going through with their baby's sleep. You can also get a lot of good tips on baby sleep groups. Introducing solids when your baby is old enough should help with your baby's sleep. You can try giving them purees, doing baby-led weaning, or using a pouch. Either way, just give them as much as they can take during the day so that they don't wake up hungry at night. The last tip is to make sure that your baby is dressed appropriately and is not too hot or too cool at night. I do keep a thermometer in Logan's room just because here in Melbourne the temperature varies so much. It could be 6 degrees or 5 degrees overnight and 40 degrees during the day. So I keep a thermometer just to warn me when it gets too hot or too cold in his room. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you found this video very useful and that it will be helpful for you and your baby. Now these are just some answers to some questions I got off Instagram. A lot of the questions were the same, so I just put them up on here and put some answers here for you to read. Feel free to press stop and have a read through all of them.